Okay, so get ready, because today we are diving deep into something pretty fascinating.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, the law of attraction.
Okay.
You know that whole idea that your thoughts can actually like shape your reality?
hmm
You might have heard it called manifestation, or
Right.
more recently, there's this trend, lucky girl syndrome.
Yeah, I've heard of that.
But the thing is, it's not actually new,
Oh, really?
like at all. It's been around for a long time. We've got all these sources too, like, historical accounts, arguments for, arguments against. We even found some pop culture stuff
Wow.
that we're going to break down. So we'll kind of trace how the idea developed over time.
Okay.
We'll look at what science has to say about it,
Interesting.
and we'll really explore how it plays out in our lives today.
It's kind of a mind bender, isn't it?
It is.
Like, does just thinking positive actually bring positive experiences?
Yeah.
I mean, I guess that's what we're going to find out, right?
Exactly.
We'll take a look at the history. We'll really dissect all the arguments for and against.
Mhm.
Then you can decide, is it legit or is this just like a self-belief system?
Exactly. All right, so rewind with me way back to the 19th century.
Oh.
We're talking horse-drawn carriages,
Oh, wow.
top hats, the whole deal.
Yeah.
And there was this guy, Phineas Quimby,
Okay.
and he was battling tuberculosis.
Oh, wow.
But here's the thing. He actually believed that he recovered because of how excited he got from horseback riding.
Interesting.
Like, just the pure excitement contributed to his recovery.
Huh.
So that experience really kind of sparked his whole mind-over-body philosophy. And, he didn't actually use the words law of attraction,
Okay.
but his ideas were kind of the foundation for what we know as the concept today.
So he was like the original manifester, I guess you could say.
I love that. So where'd the term law of attraction come from then?
Well, so the phrase actually first appeared in 1855 in this book called The Great Harmonia. But what's really interesting is that at first the whole concept was really rooted in like spirituality.
Oh.
Yeah, it was about like connecting your soul to, this larger kind of cosmic energy.
So not so much about like getting that promotion you've been wanting.
Not exactly, no.
Okay.
Then later on, there's this writer named Prentice Mulford, and he was part of the New Thought movement.
Okay.
He really expanded on the law of attraction.
Okay.
And in his essay, The Law of Success, he kind of applied the concept to, achieving success
Okay.
in different areas of life.
Okay, so it's evolving.
Exactly.
So fast forward now, like way later to the 20th century,
Yeah.
and we see this idea gaining popularity with books like Think and Grow Rich.
Oh, yeah, Napoleon Hill.
Yes.
Big one.
Is a bestseller.
Yeah.
And it was all about like the importance of burning desire and just unwavering belief in achieving your goals.
Oh, wow.
He even suggested like creating a detailed plan and really visualizing yourself being successful already. Sounds kind of familiar, right?
Yeah, like that's core law of attraction stuff right there.
That's it. It's in action.
Yeah.
Then boom, 2006, we have the movie and the book The Secret
Right.
explodes onto the scene,
Yeah.
took law of attraction like mainstream,
It's huge.
and now we've got lucky girl syndrome trending on TikTok.
It's amazing. It just keeps evolving, doesn't it?
It really is why.
What essentially the same idea,
Yeah, like the core is still there.
Absolutely. So it's gone from this like spiritually tinged concept
Mhm.
to a full-blown viral sensation. Like law of attraction knows how to adapt, I guess you could say.
It does.
But the big question is, does it actually work?
Yeah.
I guess to really figure that out, we need to look at the arguments,
Yeah.
both sides.
Yeah. Let's get into it. Let's start with the believers.
So people who really believe in the law of attraction,
Yeah.
like Rhonda Byrne from The Secret, they argue that, if you align your thoughts and your emotions with what you want, you can actually make it happen.
Okay.
They believe you can attract anything you want, like money,
Yeah.
love, success, like by simply believing it's already yours.
Okay. I get why people would buy into that. Like, who wouldn't want to manifest their dream life just by thinking about it?
Right.
But also, I'm a little skeptical.
Yeah.
Like, if it were that easy, wouldn't we all be like millionaires hanging out on yachts?
That's a healthy dose of skepticism right there.
Yeah.
And that's where the critics come in. They're quick to point out that despite all the attempts to like tie the law of attraction to science,
Right.
there's really no solid evidence to back it up. A lot of people actually consider it to be pseudoscience.
Okay, so break that down for me. What makes it pseudoscience?
Well, so like one of the key principles of science is this idea of falsifiability,
Okay.
which basically means a theory has to be like testable.
and potentially disprovable.
Okay.
But the way the law of attraction is presented is usually pretty vague.
Right.
Like, how do you design an experiment to actually prove
Yeah.
or disprove
Yeah.
that thoughts attract things?
That's a good point.
Yeah.
So it's more about faith than like scientific fact.
I mean, yeah, for a lot of people it
But
is.
what are some other arguments against it?
Well, skeptics like Mary Carmichael and Ben Radford from
Huh.
the Committee for Skeptical Inquiry,
Okay.
they're concerned about like the potential for self-blame.
Oh, okay.
You know, if you believe that you attract every experience you have,
Right.
you might start blaming yourself for negative things.
Yeah.
And that can be really damaging.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
Imagine someone who's like dealing with an illness or something,
Mm-hmm.
and they start thinking it's their fault because they weren't positive enough.
Oof. Yeah, that's rough. And I can see how that could like spiral into a toxic mindset.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, and what about like on a societal level?
Mhm. Yeah.
If we all believe that success is just a result of positive thinking, doesn't that kind of ignore systemic issues?
Exactly.
Like inequalities?
Yeah, you're absolutely right. Like attributing success solely to the law of attraction kind of it risks overlooking these real world factors
Sure.
like privilege,
Mhm.
opportunity.
Right,
And even, just plain old luck. I mean,
Yeah.
it oversimplifies a really complex reality.
totally. Okay, so we've got this clash between like belief and evidence,
Definitely.
but I want to shift gears a little bit and talk about like the cultural impact
Yeah.
of the law of attraction. I mean, this idea is everywhere.
Oh, yeah.
How has it influenced how we view success,
Right.
happiness?
Well, it's definitely had a huge impact, especially I think with the rise of this thing called toxic positivity.
Oh,
Where people feel pressured to suppress any kind of negative emotion and just project happiness even when they're struggling.
yeah, I've definitely seen that, especially online. It's like everyone's trying to like outdo each other with their perfect happy lives.
Yeah.
But how does toxic positivity relate to the law of attraction?
So the idea is that like if you focus on negative emotions, you're going to attract more negativity.
Okay.
So people will actually like mask their true feelings because they're afraid of, manifesting bad things.
Oh, wow.
But, in the long run, bottling up your emotions isn't healthy.
No.
It's important to acknowledge those feelings,
Yeah.
process them. Don't just like slap a fake smile on top of everything.
Yeah, it's like pretending you're not drowning when you're in the middle of the ocean. Not helpful.
Exactly.
In articles in like Harper's Bazaar and The Conversation, they've been calling out this trend,
Mm-hmm.
like really warning about the dangers of denying genuine human experience.
Yeah. And, they also point out that toxic positivity can actually prevent people from like seeking help. Oh, right.
Or support when they need it,
Yeah.
because they might feel ashamed or like a failure
Yeah.
for not being able to manifest their way out of a difficult situation.
Right. Speaking of difficult situations, let's talk about lucky girl syndrome.
Okay.
This trend seems really popular with Gen Z especially. Why do you think that is?
Imagine being a young person today.
Yeah.
You're facing like a world full of uncertainty,
Yeah.
climate change, political turmoil,
Sure.
economic instability.
Right.
Lucky girl syndrome kind of offers a sense of control,
Okay.
hope,
Yeah.
Like if you believe you're lucky,
Right.
maybe you can actually like manifest your way to a better future.
So it's almost like a coping mechanism
Yeah, I think so.
for a generation that's dealing with a lot of stress,
Absolutely.
anxiety.
Yeah.
Mhm.
And Parents Magazine and Vox have talked about how social media plays a role in like amplifying this whole thing.
Yeah.
You see all these influencers sharing their lucky girl routines,
Yeah.
and it creates this pressure to project this image of effortless success.
Right. But there's a flip side to that, right?
Oh, yeah.
Like what happens when someone who believes in lucky girl syndrome faces a setback
Right.
or a failure?
Yeah.
Doesn't that kind of shake their whole worldview?
It absolutely can.
Yeah.
And that's where the potential for harm comes in,
Okay.
Like the conversation, they highlight the risk of self-blame here.
Hmm.
If you believe that you're fundamentally lucky, then any kind of misfortune might be seen as a personal failing.
Right. Like if I'm so lucky, why'd this bad thing happen to me?
Exactly.
It must be something wrong with me.
Must be my fault.
Yeah. It's interesting because while lucky girl syndrome initially seems empowering,
Yeah.
it can actually easily turn into another way to, like, judge yourself harshly.
Oh,
And
absolutely.
it can create this, like, false sense of security too, right?
Right, yeah, for sure.
Like, if you're just relying on luck to get you through.
You're not going to be as likely to put in the hard work
Right.
or effort
Yeah,
that you
exactly.
need to achieve your goals.
It's like expecting to win the lottery without even buying a ticket,
Right.
you know? So while a positive mindset can be beneficial,
Yeah.
it's really crucial to recognize that it's not a magic bullet.
It's not. So where do we go from here?
Yeah.
Is there a way to, like, embrace the potential benefits of the law of attraction without falling into these traps of, toxic positivity
Yeah.
and unrealistic expectations?
I think that's the million-dollar question, isn't it?
It is.
I think the key here is balance.
Okay.
It's about understanding that, yeah, our thoughts, our beliefs, they can influence our actions, they can influence our experiences,
Right.
but not in like a mystical, law of the universe kind of way.
Right. Right. So maybe instead of looking at the law of attraction as like this literal force that
Yeah.
like bends reality to our will,
Yeah.
we can see it more as like a framework for cultivating a more positive and proactive mindset.
Exactly. So like instead of just passively wishing for things,
Right.
we can use those principles, from the law of attraction, like setting clear intentions, visualizing our goals, believing in ourselves, and using those to fuel our actions and actually make those goals a reality.
So it's like instead of saying, I'm going to manifest $1 million,
Right.
you say, I'm going to work hard, I'm going to like develop my skills
Yeah.
and create opportunities that will help me achieve financial success.
Exactly. It's about combining that intention with action. I mean, that's where the real power lies,
Right.
Even if we don't like fully buy into the idea that our thoughts are literally controlling the universe,
Yeah.
we can still use the power of a positive mindset to shape our experiences.
I mean, think about it. Like, if you believe that you're capable
Right.
and deserving of success,
Yeah.
you're more likely to take risks, and
Yeah.
persevere through challenges and ultimately achieve those goals.
Absolutely.
It's not about magic. It's
No, no.
about self-belief
Yeah.
and taking action.
I think that's a great way to put it. I mean, the law of attraction, maybe it's not, this scientifically proven law, but it does offer some really valuable insights into the power of our minds.
So what's the takeaway for our listeners today?
Well, the law of attraction, maybe it's not like a magic formula for getting everything that you want,
Yeah.
but consciously cultivating a positive mindset, that can actually have like a ripple effect on your actions and ultimately your experiences.
Yeah.
It's not about denying negativity
Right.
or pretending everything's perfect.
Yeah.
It's about like approaching life with a sense of hope, possibility,
Yeah.
a belief in your own potential.
I love that.
Yeah.
It's about finding that sweet spot, right?
Yeah.
Between like optimism and realism, intention and action.
Exactly.
And it's about recognizing that we actually have the power
Yeah.
to shape our own lives.
Right.
Not through like magical thinking, but through conscious effort and a belief in ourselves.
Yeah. Couldn't have said it better myself.
All right, deep divers, time to resurface from this pretty fascinating exploration of the law of attraction. We traveled through its history.
Yeah.
We debated its validity. We unpacked its impact on our culture. And we learned that while the law of attraction might not be this like foolproof path to success
Right.
or happiness,
Yeah.
consciously cultivating a positive mindset can still have a really profound impact on our lives.
Absolutely.
So as you navigate all the complexities of life, remember to embrace the power of your thoughts, but don't forget the importance of taking action
Yeah.
and staying grounded in reality.
Absolutely.
Until next time, keep those minds curious
Yeah.
and those thoughts